It's always good to reveal some good news about the British monarchy. I mean, as you know, here on this channel, we like to share everything that we find out. And when you think about it, there hasn't been much good news, apart from, of course, Sarah, the Duchess of York's clearance of her own recent health setback. I know she was obviously very delighted about that. That was a very stressful and strange time, as it were, for her. As she said, it was a real sort of eye-opener to re-looking at her own life, her own mortality. I think we've all been through that at some point or another. And of course, there's still the ongoing battle with the ex-royal, disgraced royal Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. What's fascinating though about that particular story is, when you think about it, there are so many other high-profile people associated with that case, pictured, and many people know who they are, but seemingly time and time again, the British media in particular only focus on the former royal known as Prince Andrew. But the good news is this: if you are in Australia, fingers crossed, God willing, His Majesty the King will be making his way over to your wonderful country for a tour alongside Queen Camilla later this year. Now, it's early stages, of course, and one of the reasons why the British monarchy decide to release such positive information is simply this. As you can imagine, over here, the media, the mainstream media, are circling like vultures, basically. I mean, I've had inquiries into the studio, basically wanting to look at possible dates. You get the picture. Oh, yes. That's how positive these people are. You would not believe what goes on behind the scenes and what I could share with you if we were legally allowed, you know what I'm saying? But what's fascinating is the fact that obviously His Majesty the King is looking forward to the future and wanting to go to a place that I know he has a lot of time for. Now, what we do know, and this is very early stages, as you know, is really these certain areas, the states that are looking to organise and welcome and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, as one particular individual pointed out, he couldn't leave out Sydney because, well, if you haven't been to Sydney, you haven't visited Australia. I think he's right about that, but there's so many other wonderful places as well. We all know the big ones, Perth, Adelaide, stuff like that. And I broadcast regularly back to Australia, so I know that you love and admire and respect the British monarchy. Yes, the other side is there's always a Republican lot that want to see them removed, but I think, outweigh the negatives. You know what I'm saying? So let's just all hope that this particular visit, which is planned, I think around about October time this year, all goes to plan. And of course, I'm sure it will, but wouldn't it be nice to have something positive, eventful, and more importantly, historical to look forward to as King Charles makes his way over to Australia the very first time, literally, as monarch. Of course, his last, major tour, which was a big success, let's not forget, way back in the 80s, was none other with the late and beautiful Princess Diana. Comparisons, no doubt, a different time, a different generation. And as ever, let's wish him all the best. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.